Hello everyone, I'm Mark, the developer of Shadowless Light, a narrative role-playing game. This is my first narrated video, and I must say I'm a bit nervous, especially because, being Spanish, English is not my main language, not even my second, but my third. So, I hope I can explain myself well, and I apologize in advance. I recently released the demo of the game, and one of the things the players mentioned was the significant difference in the quality of some renders compared to the others. Well, making renders isn't as difficult as learning to draw. It is true that you improve over time and achieve better results. That's why the renders in the first story I made look much worse than the latest ones. I will use this video to analyze my progress with renders. I'll start by showing one of the first renders I made. It's been just over a year since I started making renders, and looking back at my early work I can see a huge difference. In this example, I didn't notice the physics of the dress, so as you can see the dress is poorly positioned. One of the things you learn as you make more and more renders is to pay attention to the details, because at first you don't notice much, but in the end, you become obsessed with even the smallest details. The next renders I'm going to show you are also some of the first ones, and you have to keep in mind that these were among the best I did at that time. All of them have forced poses that include any lightning effects and have no post-production at all. I left them just as they come out of the program. Even so, you can see that Data Studio is a very powerful tool that can offer excellent results. Now we enter a new stage of my work. Initially, I refused to accept that post-production with a photo editor was necessary to improve my renders, but eventually I had to acknowledge that post-production was absolutely essential. So I started with a very basic editor to adjust the image, and as you can see, just with that, there was a noticeable improvement of the results. The next thing I did was buy a tablet to draw with an electronic pen. This led me to create a few practice drawings, which I'm showing on a screen right now. I'm not too satisfied with the results, but they help me learn how to paint lights and shadows in Photoshop. And finally, we come to the final part of my process, where I apply everything I've learned to improve the renders. These were my first attempts at painting shadows and lights. It was right there when I started making the game, about 8 months ago. These first renders are the ones I made at the very beginning, and now I'm showing you the latest ones I've made. The difference is quite significant, so I have doubts about what to do. On the one hand, I could remake those old renders to match the new ones, but the problem is that it will consume a lot of time. Additionally, it's very likely that in a few months my level will have raised again, and I have to redo them all over and over again. So I've decided not to touch them until the game is finished. Only then will I dedicate myself to making remakes if necessary. Now, the latest renders I made are coming up. Judge for yourself if you notice the difference. Personally, they make me feel a little, just a little proud of my progress. All these renders and other additional ones that I can show you on YouTube can be found on my DeviantArt account. I'll leave the links in the description. I hope you like it, see you later!